Hello, my YouTube family. My name is Tal, and welcome back to the Affordable Housing Waiting Room. On this platform, we talk about all things affordable housing. We share tips and resources to help you navigate through the process. So, today I want to do a little, how I would say this, a quick check in, see how you guys are doing, and also share some important information with you. But before I get into that, I've been receiving a lot of emails from a lot of people in different states, and I don't know why that surprised me. I was like, wow, like all these states are benefiting from this information, which is admirable. So I just want to do a quick check-in. If you could comment below and let me know, where are you from? Where in the states are you from? Or even if you're not from the states, where are you watching from? It will be helpful for me to know that. But I'm so glad that you guys find this information useful in whichever state you are. As a quick reminder, just always remember to check in with your state guideline, as some state guideline varies. So just wanted to say that. And today I'm going to talk about an important topic, right? And this was triggered by an email I received. So I want to talk about your rights as a tenant. So I know a lot of you guys, when you are most based on the feedback, based on the question, and just based off my experience, I know oftentimes a lot of people, when they're applying for these affordable housing process, for some reason there's this sense of fear or this sense of, they're so limited in the rights that they have. And that's not true, guys. As I always say to you, like, don't be fearful of this process. I find that a lot of applicants are fearful of the process. They're fearful of the people that's processing their application, because you guys sometimes give them way more power than you think they have. And I always say someone cannot reject you for their personal reason. And something I hear often, people say, oh, they just want to reject me to get their family in. It doesn't work like that, guys. There's a process, right? With this whole affordable housing process, there is like administrative oversight. There's policies and procedures that have to be followed. And there's also multiple reviewers, right? So please, like, don't enter this process being so fearful. And in being so fearful, I find that a lot of you guys are not asking very important questions that you should be asking before signing a lease agreement, right? So the purpose of this video is to just remind you to ask questions, right? Don't be so, and just as I say this with viewing the unit, right? Don't be so excited that you forget to pay attention to very important things. And I say that when I tell you guys, when you go to view these units, look for this, look for that. When you go in to sign your lease, or before even going into sign your lease, there are very important questions that you should ask, because from my observation and based on a lot of the questions, I find that you guys are asking those questions after you move in. So again, affordable housing is an amazing opportunity. I'll always be an advocate for affordable housing, but you having a clear understanding of the program that you're a part of is also very, very important, right? I don't want you to move in and enjoy the first 7-8 months. And then, when it's time for recertification, you're starting to panic, or you're wondering what's going to happen next. That's not how this process should be. So there's certain questions that you should ask, right? When you're in process, when you get selected, whether it's when you get selected and start submitting documents, or whether you get approved. But before you sign that lease agreement, there's certain things that you should have clarity on. The number one, you need to know what program you're a part of, right? Yes, you're a part of the affordable housing program. You won the lottery, or you got selected, and you're ready to move in, right? What are the details of the program? What is my recertification requirements, right? do I need to do an interim recertification? Is it only an annual recertification? For tax credit, it's only an annual. If for a subsidized program, it's an annual and an interim, right? So you need to get clarity on that. And especially the tax credit applicants, right? Okay, what happens if my income changes, whether increase or decrease, right? You need to get clarity on that before moving in so you could know exactly what it is you're getting into, right? And also that so no one can give you the wrong information later on. So these are questions you should ask. Another question, what is the process if my household composition changes? Am I allowed to add someone? Am I allowed to remove someone? You need to get clarity on that because, again, a lot of you guys are, say, what, let me just get in and later on I'll figure it out. No, you need to understand exactly what it is you're up against so that way you could make an informed decision to see if this housing opportunity is the best opportunity for you. And even other simple things and this is why, guys, it's so important for you to read the lease agreement before you sign it. One of my biggest pet peeve is when someone skip a document to the signature page and just says sign here. Please never sign anything without reading it. And I'm not saying you have to read every single word, but there's certain area, you should make your best effort to glance over as much information. And if time permitting, read as much as you can, especially for important pointers, which are typically in bold, right? Not only in bold, but you should be reading through that lease agreement before you sign it. Don't ever let someone just skip the page to the signature page and just say sign and date here, right? That should never, never, never happen because you want to know, what's your rights as a tenant, because in a lease agreement, it outlines your right as a tenant. It also outlines the landlord rights, right? We all have rights, but you need to know what those rights are. Even moving into a building, if you have a pet, you need to know what their pet policy is, right? Don't accept a unit and then you move in after and then you find out that it's like a no pet policy, right? And then you're upset. It doesn't work like that. And speaking of pet, also know that if you have a emotional or service animal, even if a building have a no pet policy, you having an emotional support or service animal overrides that based on reasonable accommodation. So just an extra tip. But I'm saying all of that to say you need to know all of this information, right? A lot of the buildings are now smoke free. Can't smoke in a building, can't smoke in a unit. If you feel like that is not something you could live with, you need to read and know what their policies are before you move in, because then you move in, you're going to get a lease violation. You're going to go through all of these legal issues that could have been avoided if you understood what the policies are before you accept the unit. So I'm saying all of that to say, I want you to know what you're getting into. I want you to be prepared, right? Like, I don't want you to panic. I see a lot of comments, my recertification is coming up, my income change, what's going to happen? That is probably one of the most frequent comments I've seen, right? That is something that you should have known before the process. I had someone just email me. The landlord is telling them that, hey, you have to leave because your income is too high. So I told them, tell the landlord to email you the reference in the guidance where it say you have to vacate the premises if your income exceeds a certain amount, right? Because they have these verbal conversation and oftentimes they'll never put that in writing. Tell them, show you the reference. But I'm saying that to say, know the program you are a part of. Because if you don't, sometimes these landlords could just have these verbal conversation with you and give you the wrong information. But if you don't know your rights, if they tell you you have to vacate, then you just start looking to vacate. Never do that. You have rights as a tenant. There's a due process, right? Where there's an administrative process through the agency that's issuing the subsidy, or whether it's a process through the court. Know your rights. Don't feel like because you're an affordable housing resident, you don't have rights. You do. And I want you to know them so that when anyone come to you with any information, you know if it's nonsense or not. So it's gonna take a little legwork, but it's worth it, because it doesn't benefit you to be happy the first few months and then start getting concerned if circumstances change. And another common notion, right? A lot of people think that with affordable housing, you shouldn't better your life because you have to restrict your income. That's furthest from the truth, right? That is furthest from the truth. And it goes back to knowing your obligation, right? I see a lot of, or I hear of a lot of residents who would say, like, I've heard a resident tell me directly, she did not take a promotion because she didn't want her income to increase and she don't qualify anymore, right? I hear people say, oh, I work part-time because I don't want my income to go up too much. Guys, know your rights. Know your rights as a tenant, right? Affordable housing doesn't mean that you should not grow professionally. That doesn't mean that, you should not get to that next level of success because you have to restrict yourself. These are all things that people think when they're not informed about the program that they're a part of. I probably sound like I vented, but I'm seeing this too often. I'm like, I have to talk about this. So bottom line is, you have rights. You have rights. I want you to know them, right? And even if you're someone that resides in NYCHA, right, public housing, and your development is going rad, you have rights. Right? And there's resources that you could reach out to help you. Oftentimes these are free resources. Like, for example, if you're in if public housing, your development is going rad and you have questions, reach out to Legal Aid Society. It's a free legal service to help you get clarity on a new PAC lease you'll be signing. So there's resources out there to help you. And there's also a lot of information in those lease agreement, in those riders. Read them. Don't let anyone steer you to the signature page and you don't get an opportunity to read what's your rights and what's the landlord rights. All right. So if you found this information helpful, comment below and let me know. And also, let me know if you are someone that, if you found this helpful, just let me know. Because I see these comments oftentimes, guys, and I don't want anyone to feel fearful. I want you to enjoy your home. I want you to be excited about this opportunity. A lot of you have been waiting so long for this opportunity. So the last thing I want is for you to be in there and be worried, if you should work that overtime, if you should take that promotion, or if you're going to get evicted because your income changed, or, oh, can I add my husband? Can I add my child? I don't want that to be you. So read your lease agreement, know your rights, because you have rights. Even if you're living in an affordable housing building, you have rights. There's a due process. No one can evict you for their personal gripe, or if you feel like, oh, the property manager don't like me, they're gonna evict me. It doesn't work like that. All right, I hope you found this information helpful. Thank you so much for being a part of this community. Thank you so much for watching throughout the United States, and I think even we have viewers in other countries, which is, I find amazing. But thank you so much. If you know someone that's living in affordable housing, share this with them. Share this information with them. I want everyone to enjoy their home. All right. I'll be going live next month. I don't think I'm going to do it this month, but next month I'll be going live. Drop some dates below that you're available. Let me put some dates together to see what will work for majority. As always, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being a part of the community. And I can't wait to interact with you more. I'm aiming to do more videos, so bear with me if you don't see me too often. But in my absence, continue to be of good courage, continue to know that all things will work for your good, and continue to just do your part. Educate yourself. Educate yourself. That's if you don't take away anything else, educate yourself. Educate yourself about the affordable housing program you're in. All right, guys, I'll see you in my next video.